But what he says there is, if you want to support African businesses, why don't you go to Africa and do that? Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. Today we're actually going to respond to some comments from one of the videos I post. What's the title again? What did I title it again? I don't know. I'm not going to memorize every video I've titled.
You've only got like four.
But basically it was like responding to...
When white men date black women, woke and racists agree? Question mark.
Yeah. So that was responding to Ryan Long's video, about just like the how woke and racist people are basically thinking alike at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I found the comments very funny because some people completely missed the point of the video.
Do you want to go ahead
and just
read the
picked
comments?
One or two things to get really pissed off about.
Yeah.
Some people actually had some good input in it. Like I don't mind when you add to the conversation, even if you don't agree with me, but you add to it. But if you're just saying dumb shit, like I'm gonna be a bit like what? Like for example, there was one guy, I need to find him because
this is the Toby tell-all. This is like man defending himself in court.
Nah, I'm not defending myself. I'm just acknowledging that some of you guys are stupid. I'm sorry.
Welcome to this episode of Jeremy Khan's Show.
Okay, so like for example, this guy, you do realize that there are Indian descendants living in the Caribbean and British Guyana. Who do you think took the spices there? Also, there are many white people from the Caribbean, so why can't they cook Caribbean food? Well, Mr. Lulu, no one said they couldn't. Okay, no one said that only Caribbean people can cook Caribbean food. No one said that. Okay, we didn't say that in the video. In fact, we said the opposite. As long as the food's peng, we don't care, innit? Yeah. And yes, spices, lots of spices come from India, and lots of countries use Indian spices. Doesn't mean the food is Indian.
Turmeric.
Like, it's a bit stupid just to say it's got an ingredient from another country, therefore it's another country's food. Like what do you think about that? Like, if there was like a fruit from Iran, would every dish that uses it become an Iranian dish?
No, but no one steals from us because our food's not that good.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
What's all the Iranians going to come for me? But they all know deep down in their soul.
Damn,
all the Iranian restaurants?
There were Iranian restaurants, no?
Not really. Name one.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
There's a couple in Ealing, there's a couple in Finchley.
But what he says there is, if you want to support African businesses, why don't you go to Africa and do that? We just have to take a moment to appreciate the stupidity, okay, of that comment, okay? Just appreciate the stupidity. If you want to support African businesses, why don't you go to Africa and do that?
You want to support the environment, why don't you go to the Amazon rainforest?
Yeah, and to be honest, if you want to say to me, go back to Africa, say it with chest. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be racist, say it with chest. But if you're trying to be smart and funny, that was so dumb. It was so dumb. It's the kind of dumb you can't actually explain how dumb that is. Do you get what I mean?
I'm still trying to think about it.
How do you even explain how dumb that is to someone?
I can't. I mean, we'd be here for 45 minutes probably.
Ayn Rand has this quote, it's like about how hard it is to explain the blatantly obvious. This is an example of one of them.
I'm gonna try.
Okay, try. I'll give you time.
Yeah.
A few moments later.
What did he say?
Yeah, if you want to support African businesses, why don't you go to Africa and do that?
A few moments later.
So stupid. I'm sorry.
I don't know where it is.
Like, And the thing is, I gave him a chance. This is what I replied to.
Oh,
I
you
was
replied?
like, bro, if you want to say I should go back to Africa, say it with chest. Otherwise, that response was stupid. And if you need me to explain why, then you're stupid.
Yeah.
I think I gave him a chance
Please
there.
explain because I'm stupid.
Is he just a troll? Maybe it's just a troll because no one can be that stupid.
To be fair, you could write him a long reply.
Yeah,
and
this
make
ain't
him read it. Make him read
this
it.
ain't a thing like you could just reply with like a PowerPoint. I actually was typing a reply and I was like, I basically have to write a book to explain
you
this.
kinda do.
Do you get what I mean? It's like
you have to go into history of Africa.
Yeah.
Let's move on from that guy.
Yeah, because God help you. I pray for you because you are tapped. You are tapped. You need Jesus.
And we're calling you out so you share this with your friends.
Yeah, share this with your friends because they probably need Jesus if they're friends with you. Okay, the next one. Okay.
I don't mind having different races owning restaurants that aren't native to them. It's called having a business. I've seen many American food restaurants owned by Asians and many Japanese food restaurants owned by black people. Yeah? I don't disagree with
Yeah,
that
we
at all.
didn't. I want to know which part of the video where we said that you can't do that.
No. I think they're conflating when you said about like you feel weird about an Asian chef cooking Italian or whatever you said about this type of chef cooking that type of food. But that's not what you said.
That's
you
not
didn't
what I've
say anything about owning the business.
Yeah, I did.
But again,
But I did talk about how come black people don't seem to own like Caribbean restaurants and things like that.
Maybe that's because if you're asking that kind of question, the question is back into economics. It might be that okay, well, in the world of business, only let's say for example, I don't know the statistics, but let's say for example, only 10% of restaurants are owned by black people, and that's not representative of the black population.
Yeah.
So that must mean that there's less black people owning businesses in comparison to other races for whatever reason.
For Caribbean food, obviously Caribbeans can cook that the best. It's just the business part of it, and I think there's a problem in the black community.
I don't necessarily agree with you on that, because on the general sense, yes, if you took a random Caribbean person and a random person from Cornwall, the Caribbean person should cook better Caribbean food, but it's not always going to be the case. You might have picked out a guy from Cornwall who's a Michelin star chef in the Caribbean food industry, and you might have picked a plonk that's a Caribbean.
Yeah, that's not always the case, but most of the time it is the case. So when you go to Chinatown, for example, when you go to a restaurant, you're not expecting to see a blonde Swedish person.
You're not.
But what I'm saying about the business side of it is that there seems to be like a lack of black businesses reaching to certain levels for some reason. I'm not saying there isn't black businesses that make it.
You're saying
and I'm not saying, this is because of racism. I'm saying, we need to maybe support our own businesses because there is a problem of black people spending more money on outside of the black community than within their community, while other races seem to spend a lot in their community and less outside. Iranians. I have Indian friends. If they're gonna have a DJ, it's an Indian DJ. If they're gonna have a caterer, it's an Indian caterer.
Is that a problem in the black community? That you don't hire from your own?
Yeah, not as much, no.
Okay.
So that's a particular problem within the black community. But I just find it funny how certain white people, which I'm presuming this guy's white, seem to be so offended.
Maybe because they're just taking it into their own narrative, and they're like, well, this, that, and the other. Like, why would you assume that of me? We're not doing that.
Yeah, no one's assuming that of you. I think.
I wasn't in that video.
Yeah, but I think it's just my problem is that there's two sides of this like racial debate kind of thing. Yeah, there's people who are like everything is racism and it's all about race.
Yeah.
And there's the people who see, there is no race at all.
Yeah.
Race has no impact on life at all, and just kind of acts like in another kind of fiction. Do you get what I mean?
You're saying there's a middle ground.
There's a middle ground.
Well, I'm kind of more of the persuasion that people should try and not see race that much.
Yeah.
And with that conclusion, what should happen is everything should flatten out, where people aren't actively going against their own community and they're not actively going outside of their own community.
Yeah.
So it's a level.
Yeah, like you can do both. Like the way I see it is that we can be as individual as the finger, but as united as the hand. So it's fine for Jewish people to have their community, to have their people to, if they're gonna buy food, they go to the Jewish shop and yeah.
What's the next
That's
comment?
fine, innit? And it's also fine as long as we're all prospering and there's no animosity, we're not hating on each other. We can do that, and people do that anyway.
Yeah.
So we can't be delusional and act like that isn't a factor.
True.
That isn't happening.
True.
So that's my problem when people kind of act like, I don't see race doesn't exist, because it does have an impact on life.
Okay, fair enough.
So anyway, next comment. But what do you think though? When you go to a restaurant, let's say we're going to a Mexican restaurant, yeah, and you see, I don't know, a black chef, for example.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, obviously you're not gonna be like, I'm leaving the restaurant or fuck that guy, yeah, but do you not feel instantly a kind of
No, not really, to be honest. But maybe it's because I don't really focus on things like that.
Okay.
Or maybe it's just because I don't pay attention to it.
Fair enough.
Naturally.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to go to a Chinese restaurant called Peter's Kitchen.
Mm.
Peter's not white, Peter's Asian.
Fair enough, yeah.
But yeah,
Now, obviously, I've tasted some banging foods from people that aren't from that race, innit? Yeah. It's just that what I've found is like, if I go to an Indian restaurant, for me, most of the time, not all the time, if the chef is Indian, he cooks the Indian food better.
Yeah, but you also get it the other way around, where sometimes they're just shit.
That is also true as well.
So, I don't know. I don't think it's something I would really focus on.
Yeah, too much.
What's the next one?
Okay.
Jews aren't necessarily part of any race. Judaism is a religion that has many followers with heritage from many places. There's European Jews, Middle Eastern Jews, Ethiopian Jews. Asking are Jews white is rather a silly question because they can be of any ethnicity. Yes, that's true, but if you ask any Jewish person, they feel like that's their ethnicity as well as their religion. That's what Jews are like.
I think
they are like that.
Like,
but I don't know what he's trying to say. I mean, yes, that's true. Yeah, it's a religion. It's not a race. It's not a race. Wait, did you say that in your video?
Well,
technically,
so we said it was technically, like I just said it was technically a race. I didn't really know, because I was like, some people say that, some people wouldn't. And I think it's a sticky one, that one, to be honest.
I think some Jewish people would say it is. Some people
wouldn't say it is. Yeah.
There's Iranian Jews.
I didn't mind this comment too much, apart from the silly bit at the end, because it's obviously not really a straightforward answer thing.
It's not even related to what your video.
It was something we brought up though. But
is it okay? Oh, it's a good question. Is it okay for white people to say support white-owned businesses? Yes.
Yeah.
South Africa. Can't go around saying that. If I was in Iran and someone says, I'm white, I'm going to support this white-owned business, I'm not going to be like, you're racist.
But what about in the UK? Would that be okay? It is an interesting question.
Yeah,
but I think it does miss the point.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think if someone says, everyone's different. I think most people have a problem with that. I think most people do have a problem with that. Personally, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
I don't.
Fair enough.
I don't have a problem with it. But the whole point of someone saying support this type of business, support that type of business, the only reason you say that is because that business struggles against the competition. So if you say support a black-owned business, or I say support an Iranian-owned business, we're saying that because it doesn't get as much clout as other types of businesses. So saying support a white-owned business is like me saying support IKEA. Like they're not already kings of furniture. So yes, it's okay to say, but it's like saying pointless. Support IKEA. IKEA doesn't need your support. They're fine.
We'll leave it at that. Tell us what you think as well, and then we'll probably might end up reacting to that. But that guy about support black-owned businesses in Africa, you're tapped. You need Jesus. But anyway. Like, comment, subscribe, safe.